Hey guys, welcome back to my Anime Heroes Customs. This week we are making a custom that is not seen very often. We have adult Konohamaru from Boruto. This will be a very exciting build because of the new style of clothing and the accessories my client ordered for him. Hope you guys enjoyed this one as I have. He'll be the 104th commission project. Cheers! We have our first patron. Names of patrons will be included at the end of every video as a thank you for their support on this channel. Check out link in description box if you want to support me on Patreon. Cheers! Let's start! Let's start with our materials. I'm using an SHF bodycoon for the base and headsculpt 3D printed head sculpts. We are back to using the regular SHF bodycoon for this custom since this is a very standard 1/12 scale for custom action figures. Then we have two pieces of 3D printed head sculpts by my partner headsculpt. If you guys want to order 3D printed head sculpts just like these, you can head down to the description box for the link to headsculpt's profile. Now let's check the size and proportion of the head sculpts in reference to the body. I think headsculpt have already perfected the scale and the size of these head sculpts, and all I have to do is tell him what body to use and he'll do it right for me, so that's just amazing. Now let's head on to spraying primer gray to the head sculpts. Now we can see the details of the faces more clearly. The head sculpts are fairly clean. We just have a little bit of excess resin and nubs here and there. All I have to do is just clean this up, and once they're done, we'll spray on our first layer of flat flesh using the Tamiya spray paint, and then I'll match the skin color to the body just like this one. Just a little bit fast forward so that we don't have to edit a long video. I've matched the skin tone to the face and the body. I've painted the hair brown and his Konoha headband black, and also his eye base is white. Now we can start detailing the faces according to the pegs that my client sent me. While painting the 3D printed head sculpts, I can now start making the clothing. I made a top, long sleeves. I used the template on the right and I used a dark blue fabric cotton spandex. And let's put that aside and we shall make some pants. And I used the template on the right and the same fabric, which is a dark blue cotton spandex for the clothing. Flip that over all together and bam, we have a fast forward look on how I made the clothing. I'm breezing through this because I want to show you guys a more in-depth look on how I make the Jonin jacket. So things that we will do to finalize the first layer of the clothing is I will paint the shins black and I will add some toes on the SHF bodycoon feet. I have these extra from a Naruto statue. I'm gonna finalize my measurements and lengths of the sleeves. So Konohamaru wears it 3/4 along his elbows, and make sure my edges are clean, and we'll finalize everything now. The shins and the feet are still drying from paint, so don't mind me using two bodycoons right now for the clothing. So I've finalized the top clothing already. His sleeves are in 3/4 just after his elbow. I've added this red band with that logo for Konohamaru, and I've finalized and hemmed my edges, and they look good, they look clean, and we will put that in one body once everything is dry later. Now it's time to make the Boruto Naruto Next Generation's Jonin jacket. So I have this pale green fabric that matches quite well with the peg and the color scheme of the new style of Jonin jacket in the anime. So it's a very thin lining fabric, but we will work on it and we will try to make it as clean as we can. Finally, the legs and the pants are on one body and we can finally start this Jonin jacket. I've got this shape according to the peg in the anime, the oval ending of the shirt, and it's just a very basic t-shirt with an oval under bottom, and these are two pieces and I'll be sewing up the sides manually. Just like this, I've hand sewn up the sides and flipped it over so that we could see a fit onto the body. I made sure that there's enough clearance for the arms and the shoulders, but we'll have to clean up my edges since this is a very thin fabric. It's it's prone to getting unthreaded, and we'll have to fix that issue later. So the trick to this is hemming. So we'll just make a small fold at each end of the fabric so that the threads won't unravel. And then I made this template. It's like a U template, and I've cut it so that it will fit over the shoulders. It will come inside, it will bend into an angle like this into the front shoulder, and it will be a big square block at the back. So we will do that on the same fabric that we just did for the Jonin vest. This is the result of that shoulder piece. I've hemmed the edges, so I did a little fold and I used my fabric glue so that it attaches, and then we'll attach it all together just like this. I've made some adjustments. See that big block at the back and the two front things that go into the front shoulders? That's what we're trying to achieve. So I'll just use my fabric glue so to put this all together and see how the hemming makes everything clean. And here we go. Ta-da! I'm very happy about the look of this new Jonin jacket. So I've added a strap that goes across his abs, and that's how everything looks all together. I'm very happy how clean I've achieved this. So let's move on. And I forgot to add a collar piece, so it's the same technique that I've used, and I've just glued it onto the shoulder pads. Up next are just some minor things that we just need to add to finalize the look for Konohamaru. This is the fabric that I'll be using for his blue scarf, so that's why we needed that collar piece, because that's important for the sizing. My client also requested for some accessories like a Rasen Shuriken and a Sage Mode scroll to go with Konohamaru, so these will just be repaints and just minor accessories to go with it. There are a lot more accessories that my client requested for Konohamaru, so why not let's just look at the full figure right now. Ta-da! Finally, adult Konohamaru costume is done. I really enjoyed this build. I think this is one of my most favorite projects so far. It's just because of the simplicity of the project, and I think it's my excitement towards this character. I really like adult Konohamaru's character in the Boruto series. I've added a lot more details. For example, the synthetic leather bag kunai at the back, his removable blue scarf, and the interchangeable and alternate faces that my client requested is an open mouth Konohamaru and a Sage Mode Konohamaru. I know that it's not really official, but I fulfill my client's requests and wishes. To add to the Sage Mode head, here is the Sage Mode scroll that he is seen wearing in one of the episodes in the anime. So I really like that part, that I think he trained in Mount Myoboku for some reason. So I didn't paint this. I used some fabric clothing to glue it up and to add a little bit more dimension and color to the accessory. That looks badass. With the Sage Mode head on and the scroll, it's only fitting that an accessory that my client requested is a Rasen Shuriken. So we have that. I know these are not official, but hey, it looks cool on adult Konohamaru. Switching up the Sage Mode head back to the regular head, we have a Monkey King staff accessory that my client requested. This is made out of a barbecue stick, and I just colored it, and I think it came out really well. I've also cut open the right open hand so that it can accommodate more accessories, and it's easier access to hold the staff and some other objects like kunai and other stuff like that. We also have a Rasengan for adult Konohamaru. I made this out of a bead and hot glue, and I've added a stem so that it can be plugged onto the open hand. I think my most favorite accessory in this build is the Asuma kunai. These are very fragile, so I couldn't just let it be a standalone piece. So what I did is I used one of the hands that came with the SHF bodycoon, and I've added it so that it's an interchangeable full hand with the kunais, and it came out great. I think it looks so badass with adult Konohamaru, and just look at that, it looks legit, right? I'm so happy how it came out. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this build, so what are we waiting for? Let's jump straight to action poses.